First, we can instance a door using always the snap. Okay, we can instance the door. Okay, now I insert always with the snap the door, so I can place it with a great precision. Okay, this is a door. Doors have, as you can see, doors have a hierarchy. Okay, the root object of the door hierarchy is a switch. The switch have this blue button as icon. Okay, those are switches. The door is a simple switch. Okay, inside the door there is a rigid body that is the door frame, the moving door, the switch is the door frame. Okay, that is this, the door frame. This, okay. The rigid body is the door. The door panel, okay, is the door panel. The door panel is a rigid body, just because when the player opens the door, it has to collide with it. Okay. Now the door is a switch that is connected with a rigid body for simulating the door panel, but the door control is inside the switch. Okay, as I have showed before, you can open the door by sending the action event to the switch, the door switch. Okay, you select the door switch and then click on action. Okay, now the switch have some parameters. The switch, what is the switch beaver? The switch beaver, the switch is an object that the player can aim and can point to. The switch is an object the player can interact with. So everything you want the player can interact with, everything you want to receive the action event, the action message, and then make something, must be a switch. A switch has two states, open and close. Every time a switch receives an action message, it changes its state from close to open or from open to close. You can also send open and close specific messages. Okay. Of course, if I send open message to a just open switch, it make nothing. I have to send a close message, or I have to send an action message. Okay. Switches have two animations, open and close animations. Open and close animations are executed when the switch passes from a state to another. If the switch is opened, it executes the open animation. If the switch is closed, it executes the close animation. Okay. Also, there is a sound for either open and close animations. There is also a locked state. If a switch is locked, it can execute the lock animation and plays the lock sound. How can I make a door be locked? Simply click on locked parameter of the door switch. Okay. In this case, if I send an action parameter, an action event, an action message to the door will execute the lock animation without opening. Okay. This is a locked door. Okay. Now I want to make the player take a key and open the door. How can I make this? With this game pack, if I remember well, I have inserted a key prefab. Okay. The key prefab that should be key prefab. Okay. I inserted a key tag. The key tag is an object that simply represents a key that can be taken by the player inside the scene. So now if I execute the game, if I aim the key, the player can take it, and the key now is inside the player inventory. Okay. Now this key can be used just all the other items of the inventory. Okay. The next step is to link the key to the door. In other words, what door this key can open. Okay. How can I do this? I have to set the parameters of this item tag. How can I make this? Okay. The item tag okay, wait a moment, I have to remember. Animation, render, destroy, finite state. Okay, if I remember well, it should be a game machine. Play, cutscene, exit game, battery key. Okay. Okay. The item tag of the key is the item inside the scene. What you see and can aim into the scene, and what you can take into the scene. When you take this item and the player automatically places it into the inventory, when the key is inside the inventory, it became a key. It became an item, not item tag, but an item object. So item tags are the tags that I put inside the scene for making the player to take them. But the real item of the inventory are the item. Are objects marked as item object. These are item. Really, the item that goes inside the player inventory. These items are then used by the player when you click on the use command. Okay, now this key prefab is the real key, the key that is loaded into the inventory when the player take it. The item tag must have a reference to the key prefab for making the player understanding that this key item is linked, that this key item can generate this key item. Okay. So the item tag has a reference to the item object that is the key prefab. The item tag has a reference to the key prefab. The key prefab is the prefab that executes the action required by the key when the player uses it. Okay? Now, in order to make this key to open this door, we have to load the key game machine into the prefab. As you can see, has just been loaded into the prefab by default. Okay, this game machine has a parameter that is the target switch, the target object that can be unlocked. The target switch that must be unlocked. In our case, the switch is this. So I click right mouse button on the target parameter of the finite state machine of the game machine, choose object, and select the door frame 12. So now I have made this key prefab to open this door. If you want another key, you have to duplicate this prefab and select another door inside this parameter of the prefab. Okay, now I save the prefab. You have to save the prefab in order to make prefab have effect. Okay, be effective. Okay, now if I test the game, the player will take the key. Okay, I click on action button. If now the door is locked, if I select inside the inventory the selected key, the taken key, and click on the action button, the door is unlocked. Okay, so you can see this with all the doors, but also with all the switches you want. You could have an interrupt locked, everything that is a switch can be locked and can be unlocked. So you can use key just as you want. The only thing that is required is that you use a prefab for every key you want to use for unlocking a door. Okay, I hope I was clear. I hope to be clear. Okay. Other questions? Okay. Okay, good. It's okay. It's so clear. Well, very good. Okay. Other questions? Okay, I can. Oh, do you add the decals? How do you add the decals? Okay. What do you mean? Decals can be of two types: static decals that you simply insert in. Can I place the key in drawers? Okay. 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 First we place the key into the drawer, and then we talk about decals. Okay. How can I insert the key into the drawer? The key is an item tag. Item tag are object, and just as all the other objects can be inside a hierarchy. Okay. Now, if I want to put the key inside the drawer, the furniture hierarchy, I have many possibilities. Okay. In this case, I want to show you one, that is to click here. I select the item tag and then I click on attach to another object. Okay, I click on attach to object, and then I bedside table, bedside, and then I click on one of these. The bedside table, this is the hierarchy of the bedside table, so I can click on bedside table drawer object to put the item tag, to link the item tag to the drawer object. Okay, now this item has been linked to the drawer. Okay, in fact, if I open the drawer, the key goes together with the drawer, but this is not sufficient. I want the drawer, the item be placed correctly into the drawer. So in this case, I simply move the key inside the drawer, simply. Okay, I close again the drawer, and now the key inside the drawer is inside the drawer. So if I make a test, I can open the drawer, find the key inside the drawer, take the key and open the door, lock the door by selecting the key. Okay?